Andre Agassi sends messages to Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka on social media after winning the U.S. Open. Andre Agassi has taken to social media to congratulate both Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka for winning the U.S. Open. It was an impressive run from both superstars, who overcame great adversity to accomplish their respective feats. And who better to celebrate their achievement than one of America's greatest ever tennis stars, who actually lifted this trophy on 2 occasions himself. Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka have now matched his tally, and have so much time to surpass him before their careers end too. Agassi will not be bothered though, as a carefree and affable individual who loves to see the stars of this sport shine. Andre Agassi congratulates Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka. That therefore explains his willingness to congratulate them in the public eye, issuing 2 Instagram stories for each of the winners. Starting with Sabalenka, Agassi wrote, "Congratulations on another huge win. And it was a huge one, having finally claimed a major title in 2025 after losing in the final twice, and a semi-final another time beforehand." His second story, aimed at Alcaraz, then read, "And to at Carlos Alcaraz on Grand Slam number 6. Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka's post-U.S. Open final interview. Following their U.S. Open titles, Alcaraz and Sabalenka appeared side by side, trophies in arms, on the Today Show to discuss their triumphs. The former was quizzed first on his budding rivalry with Jannik Sinner, admitting, "I think we push each other to the limit every time, and my practice is just focused to see how I could be better just to beat Jannik. That rivalry is special, splitting the Grand Slams, fighting for the great things, and then seeing that thanks to him, I'm just a better player. I think the rivalry is great for that." Sabalenka then reacted to her victory, and becoming the first woman to defend her crown in New York since Serena Williams. The Belarusian admitted, "That's insane to believe. Not to compare it, but to be a little bit like close to Serena. That's just crazy to process." The U.S. Open ended not with silence, but with roars that carried across generations. Under the glowing lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium, Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka etched their names deeper into the granite of tennis history. For the young Spaniard, it was another coronation, Grand Slam number 6, his second in New York. For the Belarusian powerhouse, it was a defense of her crown, a rare back-to-back victory on American hard courts that few have managed before. But somewhere far from the noise of Flushing Meadows, another champion was watching. A man whose bald head and fiery groundstrokes once electrified this same city. A man who lifted the U.S. Open trophy in both 1994 and 1999, and who knows better than most the cost of climbing tennis's highest mountains. Andre Agassi. And when the dust settled, Agassi did what champions of his era never could. He reached for his phone. He posted 2 short, simple notes on social media, yet each line carried the weight of a legacy. "Congratulations on another huge win at Aryna Sabalenka. And to at Carlos Alcaraz on Grand Slam number 6. The subtle poetry of a social media salute. In a time when messages from legends can reach millions in an instant, Agassi's words stand as more than a polite courtesy. They're an unbroken thread in tennis's tapestry, tying one era of champions to the next. His sentences were brief, almost understated, but to the players who received them, they would have resonated like an echo in Arthur Ashe itself. For Sabalenka, the words must have felt like a knowing nod from someone who once understood the fire of battling through pressure, match after match, under the scrutiny of the world's brightest spotlight. For Alcaraz, it was perhaps even more powerful, a signal from a Hall of Famer that his young career is not just rising, it's already becoming legendary. Sabalenka, the roar heard across Queens. Sabalenka's back-to-back U.S. Open titles cement her as the undisputed Queen of Queens. Her journey has been defined by raw power blended with discipline. Her groundstrokes thunder, her presence looms, and yet her emotional growth has been just as striking. When Agassi typed, "Another huge win," he recognized more than a trophy. He recognized consistency, evolution, and the rare ability to carry expectations on her shoulders without buckling. Few know better than Agassi how grueling it is to keep winning when the world expects it. His own career was a pendulum of triumph and collapse, but in his words to Sabalenka, there was admiration for her steadiness in the storm. Alcaraz, the heir to greatness. Carlos Alcaraz plays with the creativity of a street artist and the stamina of a marathoner. His 6th Grand Slam by the age of 22 is a record of staggering proportions. To many, he's the natural heir to Rafael Nadal, but to others, he's writing an entirely different script. One that fuses Federer's elegance, Djokovic's elasticity, and Nadal's fighting spirit. Agassi's message, on Grand Slam number 6, wasn't just about tallying titles. It was recognition that Alcaraz has entered the rarefied air where only legends breathe. Agassi himself won 8 majors. The fact that Alcaraz is closing in on that number so quickly would not be lost on him. His congratulation was part applause, part warning. You're building something historic now. Keep going. When legends speak, the game listens. There's something profound about Agassi's decision to reach out publicly rather than privately. His career was played before smartphones, Twitter, and Instagram. His rivalries lived in highlight reels and press conferences. Today's stars grow up in an ecosystem where fan connection, online validation, and legacy are shaped in real time. By posting his thoughts, Agassi wasn't just congratulating them. He was archiving the moment in the permanent digital scroll of tennis history. It's a kind of public blessing, the way an elder in a family steps forward at a celebration and places their hand on the next generation's shoulder. The emotional weight for the players. Imagine Sabalenka, phone in hand after hours of media, celebration, and exhaustion. Among hundreds of thousands of notifications, one stands out. Andre Agassi has mentioned you. For a player who grew up watching tapes of the 90s greats, that validation is priceless. Now picture Alcaraz, still riding the adrenaline of victory. He scrolls, sees Agassi's nod, and pauses. Here's a man who once went to war with Sampras, who helped redefine baseline tennis, now taking time to honor him. In that moment, Alcaraz doesn't just see himself as a champion. He sees himself as part of the story of tennis, woven alongside the giants. Agassi's legacy reflected. What makes Agassi's messages so poignant is the mirror they hold to his own journey. Sabalenka's resilience recalls the moments when he clawed back from the brink of retirement. Alcaraz's exuberance mirrors Agassi's own early years, when he burst onto the scene as the charismatic rebel with the neon hair and punishing ground game. Agassi was once the future. Now, he's the elder statesman, sending blessings from the shadows. The circle is complete. More than words, a passing of the torch. Agassi's 2 short posts could have been lost in the noise of social media, but instead, they became symbolic. They remind us that tennis is not just about trophies or rankings. It's about lineage. Every champion leaves fingerprints on the game, and every new champion carries those marks forward.